and tune-in desktop and mobile platforms of DBS Radio with over 38,000 subscribers and growing. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms such as our official Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. DBS Radio, the nation station.
I remember Shemin Green Brown as a professional here at DBS, well loved, and people loved her very much. Shemin Green, with all her brilliance on radio and well known around the Caribbean, she would not go into a talking point program without asking me a few questions. In other words, refer to me to guide her in the program. I remember her very, very well for always keeping in contact with me whenever she has to go into talking point. It's sad, a very sad day for me and the rest of my family who knew her very well. We remember Shemin for her professionalism here at DBS Radio and the way in which she connected with the people of Dominica.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Weather officials in Dominica monitor an approaching weather system. News from the region, the U.S. to restart immigration program for Haitians. And news from the international scene, the World Health Organization chief says Mpox outbreaks in Africa could be halted within 6 months. Details of the evening news right after this.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
One easy loan.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
To upgrade my phone and even my home with one simple loan.
More money.
To have your wedding, to go traveling, to do anything.
More money.
No security. Speed delivery, just check NBT. Apply anytime. In branch online, it's more money time.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
No collateral.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Speedy delivery.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Just check NBT.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Evening News. My name is Curtis Matthew. Weather officials in Dominica are monitoring a potential tropical wave which is expected to approach the region by Monday. Here is the senior acting Met Officer Itoma James.
This weekend, we expect there to be fairly fair weather. We do not expect anything significant to be occurring on Saturday and Sunday. However, on Monday, an approaching tropical wave in the central tropical Atlantic is being monitored by the Met Office and the National Hurricane Center. The National Hurricane Center has given this tropical wave a 40% chance of developing into a tropical depression or tropical storm within the next 7 days. Based on the current projection and the location of the tropical wave, this system should be near or in the region by Monday night into Tuesday. And this system, regardless of any development of the system, is looking to be somewhat of a rainy system, and we can expect some excess rainfall. So the Met Office is continuing to monitor the system as we may need to issue a flood watch or warning during the period. Also, depending on the development of the system, we may need to issue marine advisories as marine conditions could deteriorate during the period. So we are just asking the general public to, while enjoying your weekend, ensure that you have your plans in place in the event that this system takes a turn for the worse, so that you would not be rushing to have your preparations in place. Just stay alert, keep monitoring the system. We will keep updating you on any significant updates or changes in the system as it approaches the region.
And that's the acting senior Met officer, Itoma James. Other news this evening: Fire Chief Josiah Dupey is retiring after 18 years at the helm. A ceremony to honor Mr. Dupey was held at the fire headquarters this morning. Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore told the ceremony Mr. Dupey served with distinction.
And I want to congratulate Mr. Dupey, who came in young into the service, and he's still only 56 years old, and is retiring. 43 years of service to the country. His entire adult life in service to the country. That is indicative of a hero. That is indicative of a man who was born to serve his country. And for that, we must be proud of Mr. Dupey and congratulate him and wish he and his family all the best. The fire department, I was told before I became the minister, was the most difficult department within the government service. It was so historically, and there's a reason for that. It brings a lot of stress to bear on the people who serve, etc. And as a consequence, things emerge, and human beings have emotions, they have feelings, and have expectation. And to be placed in an organization with all those expectations of you from the public can bring to bear a beating on your body. But I must confess, and I said so publicly, that the fire department, in my view, is one of the best departments within the public service.
And that's the Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Meanwhile, the outgoing fire chief said the cooperation of fire officers and management of the fire department was key to his success. He praised the efforts of the fire officers during the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's you who have really done the hard work over the years. And I have said to you before, and I say it one last time, I have been very proud to serve you. I've been very proud to serve you throughout difficult days. We were talking about the COVID pandemic. And when I spoke to you, fire officers, I saw the challenge that was before us. I saw the fear, rightly so. I saw the apprehension. I saw probably even decisions to report sick, to not turn up for work, simply because of the uncertainty of the COVID pandemic. And somehow it wasn't so much what I said, but it was how well you tune your ears, how well you tune your heart towards the service that you had committed 2 years before. And you were true to form in responding to those calls. I remember that. It will stay with me forever. So I want you to be assured that although I leave here today, well, maybe in earnest in November, my commitment to the fire service, as I've said before, remains unwavering.
And that's the outgoing fire chief, Josiah Dupey. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, is celebrating a milestone achievement of 40 years of technical cooperation with the government of Dominica. In commemoration of this achievement, IICA's delegation in Dominica will hold an annual accountability seminar next week, Wednesday, September 4th. The seminar will not only highlight IICA's achievements of 2023, but also pay homage to the 40 years of existence on the island and recognize the people responsible for the continued commitment of the development of agriculture and rural well-being. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, is the specialized agency for agriculture of the Inter-American system that supports the efforts of member states to achieve agricultural development and rural well-being. IICA provides cooperation services through close and permanent work with its 34 member states, addressing their needs in a timely manner. AICA opened an office in Dominica on the 6th of June 1984, marking the establishment of the third Eastern Caribbean office. Minister for Finance Dr. Irving McIntyre has hailed the efforts of the UNDP as the United Nations Development Program towards enhancing Dominica's social and economic development. Dr. McIntyre made the remarks while addressing a one-day preparatory meeting at the State House Conference Center this morning. The meeting, which is in preparation for the 16th Ministerial Development Forum for Latin America and the Caribbean in October, was spearheaded by the UNDP.
I want to express our deepest appreciation for the tremendous leadership that the UNDP has demonstrated in Dominica over the years. Since 1980, UNDP has been a trusted partner of the government of Dominica, providing invaluable support across various initiatives aimed at enhancing our nation's social and economic development. Their unwavering commitment and innovative approaches have played a pivotal role in strengthening our resilience and adaptive capacities in the face of numerous challenges. Their leadership, expertise, and unwavering commitment to addressing development challenges at both regional and sub-regional levels have been invaluable, and we look forward to further.
And that's Dominica's Minister for Finance, Dr. Irving McIntyre. Bouillon Artist of the Year, Mr. Ridge, has dedicated his award to Dominica, Bouillon Artists, and his family. Mr. Ridge was named Bouillon Artist of the Year during the Caribbean Music Awards in New York last night.
Let's meet our nominees for Bouillon Artist of the Year. Are you ready?
Nominees for Artist of the Year Bouillon are Asa Banton, Triple K, Mr. Ridge, Nice, Kenny G, Carlin XP, Rio.
Put your hands up, living on man, and the winner is Mr. Ridge.
This one is for Dominica, you know. Big up the nasty business. Big up to my boy Arturo Bellot, Morsiwo. Big up to Dirty Lifestyle. Big up to Burn Brain Jolly. That was a shock. I wasn't expecting that, you know. But anyways, big up to my mom, my dad, Sheba and Thomas, World Boss, Sugar George, and all the nasty business artists.
Bouillon Artist of the Year, Mr. Ridge. Meanwhile, Asa Banton took the People's Choice Award.
The nominees for the People's Choice Award are Cass, Skinny Fabulous, Patrice Roberts, Asa Banton, Dexter Dabbs, Shensia, Young Breda.
Tonight is going to show you how important it is to vote, okay, on a different level. The winner is Asa Banton.
I just want to say a special thank you to everyone who voted, you know. I come from a small island called Dominica. Located in the middle of the Caribbean. Our population is like 70,000 people. And to win this award, when you're going up against some of the best in the business, where their island got millions of people, that means you're really doing something good. This one is for Dominica. This one is for Bouillon music. This one is for soca. This one is for the Caribbean. I just want to say a special thank you to the Caribbean Music Award. And I want to big up Triple K, WCK, those guys, the young guys coming from Dominica, dirty, nasty business, whatever it is. We all represent one music, which is Bouillon. And we under one umbrella, which is soca. Big up Marshall Montano, big up everybody who did it. Thank you very much. We did it! it!
The Booyah Boss Asa Banton in New York last night, and what a function that was, seeing all of the Caribbean artists gathered in one area in New York last night, and of course a number of Dominican artists featured there during the Caribbean Music Awards. Now for the feature segment of the DBS Evening News, we highlight the work of the Blind Workshop for the Blind. They're located on Federation Drive near Lindo Park in Goodwill. They observed their 60th anniversary on October 5. Workshop for the Blind has brought to the fore the skills of people who are physically challenged. Acting manager of the Workshop for the Blind, Rhea Raymond, tells us about the reason for the Workshop for the Blind. Well, we'll get back to Rhea Raymond in a very short while. Rhea Raymond talking about the Workshop for the Blind. They are celebrating their 60th anniversary, and that anniversary will begin sometime on the 5th of October. They have a number of people who are challenged, and of course they started that movement some 60 years ago, and they are very happy that at this time they are prepared to celebrate their 60th anniversary.
Was to grant some special place for persons who are disabled to find some form of employment to bring back to their families or their homes, because back then in the 60s most persons who were blind or disabled or in a wheelchair, they were kept home, away from society, away from the public. So that became opportunity for them to showcase their talents by doing basket weaving and other stuff I have incorporated so far, like vetiver plaiting and local products such as screw pine and coconut leaves.
And how many people do you have here employed here, and are they earning a salary?
So they do earn a salary. Every month we pay everybody according to their sales, and government provides a stipend every month annually. For the past couple of years they have been doing that so generously, and we thank them for that. So when their basket is sold, they in turn go with that amount of money, with their stipend inclusive also. October 5th actually, we started up back in 1964 with only blind persons here. So most persons know Miss Sylvanie Pauletta, who were there before. Miss Pauletta played the organ at Catholic Church for a couple of years, and until then. And even Miss Navali Roll, who is formerly the president of DAPD, she used to be employed at some point in time. So we started up back in 1964, where we only had blind persons working there, mostly women. But as time progressed, we include other persons also, speech and hearing impaired, sight impaired. So we moved on, we progressed. And for our former boss was here, Miss Anthony. She made sure things were put in place before she left after her time here, because when time comes for you to leave after public service, you have to leave. So we thank her for what she did for the time she was here so far. But this year, we'll be celebrating 60 years, and we ask the public that they may come along when the time comes to patronize us when we have our sale activities or any activities we have scheduled. So hopefully we see October 5th and everything goes well. It's especially for Miss Bastian, who has been here from the inception, and we just hope the public shows up and give us a good showing when that time comes. And we are thankful and grateful to the government also, who supplies the material for our basket. So everybody, thank you very much for your support so far for all the years, and we look forward to your continued support as well to us.
And that's the acting manager of the Workshop for the Blind, Rhea Raymond. The news continues right after this.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
One easy loan.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
To upgrade my phone and even my home with one simple loan.
More money.
To have your wedding, to go traveling, to do anything.
More money.
No security. Speed delivery, just check NBT. Apply anytime. In branch online, it's more money time.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
No collateral.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Speedy delivery.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Just check NBT.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
DBS News.
In news from the region this evening, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security says it will restart the issuance of advanced travel authorizations for the humanitarian parole program to Haiti, which has been temporarily suspended several weeks earlier over fraud concerns. In a statement, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, an agency of the Department of Homeland Security, said other nationals to benefit as a result will be those from Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who apply to come to the U.S. with the help of a sponsor. The program had been paused in July after an internal report found there were more than 100,000 applications for the program. They were supported by just over 3,200 US-based sponsored and described as serial sponsors. Finally, this evening, the head of the World Health Organization, the WHO, believes the ongoing mpox outbreaks in Africa might be stopped in the next 6 months and said that the agency's first shipment of vaccines should arrive in Congo within days. To date, Africa has received just a tiny fraction of the vaccines needed to slow down the spread of the virus, especially in Congo, which has the most cases, more than 18,000 suspected cases, and 629 deaths. He said that while mpox infections have been rising quickly in the last few weeks, there have been relatively few deaths so far. It is 21 minutes after 6 o'clock. That's news. The sports report next on the radio.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Let's begin the DBS Evening Sports Report with volleyball news. Dominica has opened up its campaign in the ECVA Under-21 Beach Volleyball Tournament with a victory in the men and women's division as that tournament got underway in St. Kitts today. The men's team of Mervyn Mingo and Bill Frederick picked up a straight sets win over Bermuda, winning 21-8, 21-14. Meantime, the defending ladies champions, the team of Alisa Bully and Nyla Edmond, won in straight sets over St. Vincent. They took the match 21-12, 21-17. The tournament continues tomorrow with Dominica playing St. Kitts in the men and women's division. Some cricket news now. Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket Miles Bascom believes the new selection system will help create more opportunities for cricketers in the region. Cricket West Indies has launched a new system which will be overseen by the West Indies head coach. The new system will now have scouts within the various territories. The new system will comprise the head coach, a senior talent manager, territorial talent ID, local selection network, and Cricket West Indies contracted technical personnel. Bascom says the new process will allow more players to be scouted.
The belief of the cricket committee is that the engine room of the selection system resides in the territories. And so these territorial talent IDs will be the persons who are drawing all of the information about the talent in their territories. And we basically are going to give them a seat at the table in terms of the discussion around West Indies team brands, the competencies of players, what we expect in terms of what is available, what should be available in terms of skill sets, and ask them to transfer that information back to the players so that we have that alignment all the way from CWI level right down to the territories. The senior talent manager in that diagram will be a person who is responsible for passing, collecting, and collating the selection data that comes from these territorial talent IDs. And that data is going to be fed into our depth charts, our player profile development, and then that senior talent manager will be the one sitting with the head coach, ensuring that he is making the selection decisions based on this data.
Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket, Miles Bascom. Outgoing Cricket West Indies Chief Executive Officer Johnny Grave says he has no regrets over his tenure. Grave is bidding farewell to Cricket West Indies after 7 years in the position. He says he's pleased with some of the things Cricket West Indies was able to achieve during his term.
I'm very grateful for everyone who's given me so much support in my 7.5 years in the role. It's been an enormous challenge, but one that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and will look back on my time in the Caribbean, and particularly in Antigua and Barbuda, very fondly. So I'd also like to, on behalf of the government of Antigua through the Honourable Minister Matthew, and certainly pass my sentiments on to Cabinet yesterday of the fantastic support that they've given Cricket West Indies during my tenureship, and particularly me personally. And we certainly wouldn't be sitting here today in this unbelievable 22-acre site here right next to the airport in Antigua as our high performance centre, with the newly crowned Antigua Falcons CPL team out there training this morning. So it's fantastic to be sitting here in a high performance facility that is currently, the best in the region, and has the potential to become one of the best facilities in the world that will help us hone that talent that Miles will talk about through the systems and processes that he's implementing, particularly those men's and women's academies that are going to be based here in that crucial development phase between the ages of 19 and 23 predominantly. So I'd like to thank everyone for the support that they've given me, and certainly I'll be continuing to rally around the West Indies.
And that's the outgoing Cricket West Indies Chief Executive Officer, Johnny Grave. The Antigua and Barbuda Falcons will go in search of their first win in the Republic Bank CPL as that tournament continues tonight in Antigua. The Falcons will battle the Guyana Amazon Warriors. That match gets underway at 7 o'clock. Last night, the St. Kitts Patriots edged out the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons by 1 wicket in the opening match of the tournament. Antigua made 163 for 4 in their 20 overs batting first. Farkas Zaman got 43, Joel Andrew 50, and Fabian Allen 24 for the Antigua team. St. Kitts replied with 164 for 9 in 20 overs. Kyle Mayers hit 39, Ervin Lewis 29, and Odin Smith 27. Shama Springer bagged 4 for 29 for Antigua. Some basketball news. The Detroit Blazers erased an 18-point second-half deficit to get past the Peebush Eagles in overtime to win the 2024 DABA Premier League basketball title last night at the Massac Indoor Facility. The Blazers outscored the Eagles 21-9 in the fourth quarter as they forced overtime, and then they dominated the extra period 13-8 to win the match 83-78 to take the series by 3 games to 1. Thomas Felix had 29 points, Kirby Nathan had 16 and Lester Langley had 13 for the Blazers, while Shama Felicity scored 21, Lenin Paul and Kaloil Paul had 10 points each for the Eagles. Here is the Blazers captain, Lester Langley.
Well, first of all, I want to say hard luck to Pebush and the organization. They gave us a good fight. And us, we did all we did persevere. We end up winning, but not how we wanted. I mean, a victory is a victory when it comes to championship. But we were real scrappy. We had to come back and fight. We maybe had more turnovers than we had points, especially on my end. But thank God we see it through, and we're just grateful that we can collect another championship.
What would you say were the turning points in the game for you guys tonight, coming from over 20 points down to win?
Yeah, well, we had no other ways than to grit our teeth and defend. Even I had to ask the coach to put me down to see if something else can happen, because it's like the turnovers not stopping. So it did work. I was down for a while and we came back, so that was a very good thing, and I'm just happy that we had the energy to still fight from way down and come back and get the victory.
You had some unlikely heroes tonight. You know, Dretson Lee really stepped up with some big minutes. How important was he tonight?
Yeah, well, Dretson Lee is supposed to be our up-and-coming star, or who we look up to as the next young man in the massacre in particular. So we're just happy that he turned up tonight, and what other night can we ask for him to turn up than on a final night like that?
And that's the Detroit Blazers captain, Lester Langley. Let's now hear from the Eagles captain, Lenin Paul.
We had some poor management for sure, especially in the third, we had some poor management there, and then in the fourth, we cannot play that game in the fourth. We slowed down our pace, and they catch up to us.
You're stuck on 66 points in the fourth quarter for about almost 6 minutes, and you said that you tried to play their type of game. What basically did the Blazers do that really put you guys off?
I don't know. In the third quarter they put on a run, and I guess that kind of shook us. And then in the fourth quarter starting up, we were kind of confused, and it just slipped us by.
How hopeful is this one for you guys? Seeing that you guys had such a comfortable lead.
That's the worst part, because we were so good during the first 3 quarters in the game, and in the fourth quarter we lost it. So that is the hurtful part. That's the most hurtful part about it.
And that's the Eagles captain, Lenin Paul. That too will conclude the DBS Evening News and Sports. Of course, you don't want to leave DBS at all for the rest of the evening as we continue to program with you in mind. We'll bring you another newscast at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow on behalf of the News and Sports departments and our link person, Miguel Labadie. Curtis Matthew saying good night.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio presents Unexpected, glimpses into broadcasting skills of Shameen Green Brown this Saturday from 8 a.m. and a repeat on Sunday from 2 p.m. Unexpected, glimpses into broadcasting skills of Shameen Green Brown.
Good afternoon. This is your weather update from the Dominica Meteorological Service at the Douglas Charles Airport for the 30th of August 2024, recorded at 12 noon. The conditions at Douglas Charles Airport were partly cloudy. The surface winds were variable at 1 knot or 2 kilometers an hour. The temperature was 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit. The conditions at Canefield Airport were cloudy. The surface winds came from the south-southeast at 3 knots or 6 kilometers an hour. The temperature was 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit. And now the weather outlook for Dominica and the Lesser Antilles. A high-pressure system is expected to be the dominant feature across the area during the next 24 hours. Low-level clouds moving with the wind flow are expected to result in mostly partly cloudy conditions with a few showers. The National Hurricane Center is currently monitoring an area of interest in the central tropical Atlantic with a medium chance of development within the next 7 days. Regardless of development, the system could produce high rainfall totals over Dominica Monday into Tuesday. Interests in Dominica are advised to monitor the progress of this area of interest as we continue to provide the necessary updates. Slight to moderate seas can be expected in open water, with waves expected to peak near 5 feet. And now the forecast for this afternoon and tonight. The synopsis: a high-pressure system is a dominant feature. The forecast for this afternoon and tonight is fair to partly cloudy with a few brief showers. The winds are expected to come from the east-northeast to east-southeast at 10 to 20 kilometers an hour with higher gusts. Sea conditions expected slight to moderate in open water with waves from 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. There are no warnings at this time. We are presently in the Atlantic hurricane season. For more information about weather conditions, visit our website at www.weather.gov.dm or call us at 266-4490. For further information, like our Facebook page at Dominica Meteorological Service, follow us on Instagram at Dominica Met, and also on our WhatsApp channel at 618-3469. Reporting from the Douglas Charles Airport, I am Dane Charles.
Now for the death announcements on the board this evening. I'm your presenter, Miguel Labadie. First, we announce the death of Shemaine Green Brown, age 68, of Mont Daniel, who resided in Miami, Florida. She died on Thursday, 1st August at the Memorial Hospital in Miramar, Florida. She was the wife of Paul Brown, daughter of Lita Green. She was the mother of Shakira Henderson, Tiffany Brown, and Kyle Brown. She will also be remembered by her two brothers, Derek Green and Brian Green, son-in-law Centel Saint-Amy. The funeral mass for the late Shemaine Green Brown of Mont Daniel, who resided in Miami, will take place at 10 a.m. on Saturday, 31st August, tomorrow, at the Roseau Cathedral Chapel. We announce the death of Augustus Drygo, age 54, of Castlebruce. He was the husband of Shalin, son of Ethel, father of Gustan and Tanisha. He will be remembered by his adopted father Joseph, sisters Alcina, Marie, and Aldi, brothers Rudy, Ali, Ray, Ronald, Aki, John, Michael, Clement, and Danielle. Parents-in-law Charles and Linda. Sisters-in-law Maurice, Charlotte and Krista. Brother-in-law Linton. Nieces and nephews Claire, Shernia, Kurt, Curtis, Kieran, Shanae, Liam, Alina, Brittany, Mernaya and Alaine. Best friend Alma and family. Aunts Sophie, Bridget, Maggie, Martha, Christina and Julia. Uncles Tony, Duke and Emmanuel Drago, Joachim, Luke, Helias and John Burkett. Cousins including Lilias, Pearl, Karen, Corinthia, Dolores, Nora, Nella, Lyndon, Shanice, Yvette, Jonah, Decima, Jonathan, Ruth, Tasha, Lilia, Michael, Caleb, Michael, Joan, Patterson, Naomi, Ryan, Sherma, Jono, Bernard, Paul, Lazar, Edwin, Martha, Eddie, Marva, Mara, Jalil, Joel, Julo, Cresswell, Jewel, Craig, Sierra, Marley, Brianna. Godchildren, Soraya, Dan, Monique, Jamal, Tamasha and Gus. Many relatives and friends including Juliet, Shaki, Mr. Soul, Nurse Madame, Malcolm, Sonny Boy, Corinne, Alicia, Delpina, Carolyn, Teacher Ernie, Jovin, Georgiana, Marianne, Livia, Kathy, Cindy, Cliv, Avril, Kenrick, Jane, Clark, Charlie, Lazarus, Silma, Valley, Charlie, Clem, Emery, Wilbert, Basil, Teacher Valentin, David, Maxima, Michael Wilshire, Teacher Octo, Bobby and family, Martina, Tay, Jacqueline, Officers Erskine and Prince, Bernard Wilshire, Diana, Honorable Octavia Alfred, Senator Austin Lockhart, past and present principals, staff, parents and students of the Castlebruce Secondary and Castlebruce Primary Schools, officials of the Ministry of Education, Father Tarimo, Father Elvio, Father Sharpless, Father Vincent, Father John Lewis, Father Franzo, lay associates, class of 2024, choir members of the Castlebruce Catholic Church, members of the Roman Catholic Churches in the parish of Our Lady of Health and the Diocese of Roseau in general. St. Mary's Academy class of 1988, election officers of the Castlebruce constituency and the Electoral Commission, Dr. Lopez, Dr. Sanchez, doctors and nurses of the Oncology Department of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, Nurse Matthew, the Banis, Alfred, Burkitt, Drago and Wilshire families of Castlebruce. The body of the late Augustus Drago of Castlebruce can be viewed from 2:30 p.m. on Saturday, 31st August at the Castlebruce Roman Catholic Church. The funeral mass will take place at 3 p.m. followed by interment at the Castlebruce Roman Catholic Cemetery. We announce the death of Desmond Popon, age 58, of Pidit Savan. He died on Sunday, 11th August at the Senior Citizens Home in Maho. He was the son of Antonia Bernard. He will be remembered by his sister Antoinette, grand-uncle Simon Daru, 4 aunts, 1 uncle, Philipson Daru, numerous cousins including Philip, Eliza, Patricia, Glenda Hilaire and Bernardine, caregiver Rosanna, Emmanuel, and Michael Laura, his caregivers, close friends, Peter Antoine, Urban Baron, Morena, Starrett, and Bernice Stitt, the entire community of Pidit Savan and the community of Font Saint-Jean. The body of the late Desmond Popon of Pidit Savan will be transported for viewing at 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday, 4th September at the Granby Catholic Church. The funeral mass will take place at 10 a.m., followed by interment at the Petit Savan Catholic Cemetery.